You're watching News Night. Now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has announced the withdrawal of the bill geared towards amending the Electoral Act 2022 to make voting compulsory for all eligible Nigerians. Abbas disclosed this in a statement signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, Musa Kirishi. He says the decision follows extensive consultations with stakeholders, stating that the bill, which he co-sponsored with the member representing Basa Jos North Federal Constituency, Daniel Ago, was introduced with the best of intentions. The Speaker therefore said rather than compel participation, he was committed to exploring positive incentives and innovative approaches that would make voting more attractive.
The National Political Consultative Group, being championed by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, says the North will support candidates at elections beginning from 2027 based on enforceable agreements for the purpose of ensuring and protecting the informed interests of their region, irrespective of the geopolitical zone of candidate. Now, the organization also decried what it describes as the impunity of elected leaders who run away with people's mandate by purporting to make decisions for their constituents without consultation.
Now, the group cited the recent developments of elected governors and legislators usurping the power of the people by endorsing President Bola Tinubu and themselves for re-election to political offices without reference to their constituents. It advised the constituents to sanction such elected officials to serve as a deterrent. Now, these were among the highlights of a communique issued after their second expanded meeting in Abuja. Meanwhile, the National Caretaker Committee of the Labour Party under the leadership of Senator Nenadi Usman has thrown its weight behind the decision of the party's leader, Peter Obi, to join forces with other political minds or like minds in a coalition to dislodge the All Progressives Congress in 2027. In a statement, the faction of Labour Party welcomes the coalition movement and approves the participation of Obi in what it calls a patriotic and people-driven agenda.
Well, the group also reaffirms Obi's rights to contest the 2027 elections under the party's platform should the ongoing coalition efforts fail. The Usman-led National Caretaker Committee called on members of the party and the general public to disregard any statements to the contrary. Well, let's bring in our guest for a conversation on this. Professor Modibbo.
Ibrahim Modibbo.
Yeah. Professor Ibrahim Modibbo.
No, doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, not the professor yet.
No. Have sometimes. Thank you so much for joining us on the news tonight.
Thank you.
Now, I mean, when you hear all of these coalition talks, I have to ask you, the PDP is not being considered as a platform to be adopted. We've heard from those who were part of the initial meeting. 2 committees have been set up, one headed by former Governor Rotimi Amechi of Rivers, another one by Governor Liel Imoke. And the option of a party to adopt or to register a new one was brought up. But the PDP was not there. Has the PDP really lost its relevance that when opposition parties are talking, PDP is not on the table? Mind you, some of those people in the coalition talks include the former presidential candidates of the PDP and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. What do you make of this?
Thank you very much for this invite. Let me align myself with the philosophical dictates of the Chinese. It says, do not blame the darkness, light the candle.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Therefore, as Nigerians, we're under no illusion as to the myriad of problems confronting this country politically, economically, socially, and security-wise. And therefore, the confederation of the political class coming to sit down to meet on a round table, thinking of bringing up a political party that could form the fulcrum of an opposition within the confines of our democratic space is a welcome idea. Therefore, to me, the idea of bringing in either aligning the opposition, aligning itself to one of the parties, because earlier the SDP was suggested,
Yes.
then later the ADC was suggested,
Yes.
and now they have to go again to sit down to map out strategies as to whether a new party will be formed. I think from all indications, if they feel there could be some kind of influences or the kind of, there's a need for a new party, as far as I'm concerned, to be formed. If it is formed, it means they are on the same pedestal where they are all joiners at the same position. Okay. This position has been driven on by the League of Northern Democrats. They've propounded that there's a need for a new political party to come up. And I think Nigerians, they need opposition. And I think it's even very good for the president to stand up to his responsibilities, bearing in mind that any country that finds itself without opposition, it's not worth itself within the democratic cycles. And therefore, for these people to meet and think of, going back to the various zones, because most of the zones, like the former vice presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar is going to the northeast to mobilize, Rotimi Amici to the south-south, El-Rufai to the north-central, who again? Leah Lemoke. Yes. So with all this, there are strategic thinking. And in terms of politicking, I think it's a welcome development. We should be able to see a new political party cropping up that could be in sync and in tune with the rhythmic flavor of politicking in Nigeria, so that Nigerians could have an option. Because if you have only one party, it presupposes that, look, the president or even the government cannot be standing up to its own responsibilities, because for a very long time, this country has been plagued by the challenges of economic doldrums, social inertia, bureaucratic bottlenecks, and also, if you look at the security situation that leaves us paradoxically hopeless in the midst of plenty. And therefore, the need for us to have a change. If we have to have any political party that is going to come up, I think it is going to form a very, very energetic team.
Let me come in here. I mean, when you say that the best option on the table is to actually form a new political party, is it not too late in the day for a new political party to be formed, to the extent that they can actually, make themselves present in the minds of the average Nigerian before 2027? Look, Atiku is saying here that if there will be any kind of, coalition, it must be based on agreements, on enforceable agreements for the purpose of ensuring and protecting the informed interests of the region. So there is also this regional slant to the idea of wanting to take over in 2027.
You see, initially the SDP was prompted to be the party to be where, the coalition is going to meet. But unfortunately, I think they have been having a rethink to go to the ADC. So the political class have not been able to map out strategies to think as to which of the parties, because of skepticism, maybe because of government influence and what have you, that could be able to make the whole arrangement look suspicious. So getting a new political party for, as of now, is the option. Adesua asked me earlier about the PDP.
Yes.
As it is today, the PDP seems to have died, because Wike, from all these problems that are rising here and there, even locking the secretariat, it seems as if there is a deliberate plan to kill the PDP. And as it is today, he's saying that he's going to challenge. If there's anything, he will go to court. But you see, the PDP have an option, because the Supreme Court has already stated that party issues should be determined by the political party. So what are these people afraid of? Let them sack Wike and rest. If they don't sack Wike, I am telling you, it's trouble.
And if you say PDP is dead,
yes,
and there are other options there, there's the ADC, there's the SDP, just like you've stated.
Yes.
Why can't this, this coalition adopt any of these parties? Is it not because that personal interest is still, at the forefront of this whole coalition, where you have the leaders of the coalition actually wanting to be president?
You see, the preponderance of the discussion on this political transition period, so to say, adopting in one party, is because I think they are suspicious of maybe there are some people that will come and bring bottlenecks within the existing party, the SDP or the ADC, that could form a clog in the wheel of progress.
Yeah.
And therefore, from what the feelers I've had at the meeting and what have you, is that these people, they want now to most probably have a new political party. You see, forming political party is not a big deal. And we have about 2 years. But it's not as if you form political party today, next week is an election. 2 years is such a huge amount of time for them to consolidate and then to sell themselves and then bring up political rhetorics and, the principles, they sell themselves with the policies and programs of the party. So to me, it seems as if the only option, if they cannot, choose either the SDP or the ADC, I think the best thing to do is form a new political party where everybody will come as fresh joiner and fresh entrant for the betterment of the democratic space.
We left out Peter Obi of the Southeast when we were trying to mention those who are there. Yeah. Although the Labour Party did say it seems like there's a double strategy. Is in the coalition or if we fall back to the Labour Party. But that's about another conversation for another day.
No, but for now, let me thank you. Let me state here that these meetings of all these political parties is in the interest of this country.
All right.
And therefore, all the contending forces, Atiku, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, Nasir El-Rufai, and whatever, should sit down. Let them not think first about themselves. Let them think of the future of this country. And allow somebody within them or outside their cycles, let them be godfathers.
They should throw their egos away. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim Modibbo, media consultant and public affairs analyst, for being on the news and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.